relevant pre-service and in-service music and cultural education for all teachers.
She also appealed for support from partners and all those with stakes in education for the training of teachers in music and cultural studies at the college. For the Director of Science and Technology at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, there is need to forge partnerships like that of ECHO International and his ministry. He maintained that revitalization and entrenchment of music and culture in our school curriculum will preserve our cultural values.
We will all agree that music and culture are not only necessary, but they are part and parcel of our lives. She linked it to mathematics, she linked it to linguistics, she linked it to science. And these are the basic skills that any individual needs to survive in this world. Any good musician, anybody who is very much aware with his or her culture is a good mathematician and a good scientist.
Cognizant of the challenges and gaps that the absence of music and cultural studies in the school system is creating, this move by the ministry is coming at the right time. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
Well, time now to take another break. We'll be right back.
dañuy wax 2 weeks bu nekk dina am ñoo xam ne dinañu win bedroom set boo xam ne dafa ànd ak dressing table ba cupboard ba lal bi ak side table ba yëpp wala ñu win la ma ne toogu yoo xam ne toogu yu baax yu óor yu dëgër pour saal bi moom la ñoo win billahi Gamcel defati na ko Gamcel defati na ko Gamcel nee na rek billahi Gamcel defati na ko kër la ñuy joxe $100 rek nga xoos dugal ci sa biir mobile wax ci ko soxla ba pare win ci kër tey waay Gamcel defati na ko waay Gamcel defati na ko waay ma ne kër la ñuy joxe kër ak ay bedroom set ak ay sofa yoo xam ne yi kenn mënu la ko wax ci taaru ci rafet tey Gamcel.
Welcome back. The Taliban are vowing revenge and urging Afghans to rise up against what they call Sikh-minded savages. Public outrage is growing over the massacre of 16 Afghan civilians, the majority of them women and children. The U.S. military says a lone American soldier went house to house on a shooting rampage before dawn on Sunday. The Afghan parliament is demanding the soldier face public trial in Afghanistan. CNN has the latest from Kabul.
Have asked the U.S. government in a joint statement to have this particular person or persons, whoever is responsible for this, to be tried here on Afghan soil in a public forum. We have gotten a response to that now. The Pentagon spokesman George Little told our Chris Lawrence that that will not happen, that whoever is responsible for this will be tried through military channels, and there is an agreement already in place that he or she will not be tried on Afghan soil in the Afghan justice system. We also understand that the soldier has been moved from the outpost where he was initially stationed to a different area, a larger area, a different area, but is still under the custody of U.S. officials. And at no time did the Afghan soldiers have a hold of this particular soldier. We're understanding at this point that it was an Army staff sergeant who was pulled in and detained for this. We have been seeing some very gruesome images coming out of the Panjwai district, which is in the western part of Kandahar. There were a couple of villages that were attacked, and the villagers just distraught, especially considering what they have been through. 16 friends and family killed. There are pictures of a baby who is dead in the back of a truck. surrounded by 2 dead men. There are also pictures of bodies that have been burned. Some of the villagers say that whoever committed this tried to burn the bodies as well, even inside one of the homes where you're seeing blood on the floors, on the walls, and spent shell casings that are being picked through from investigators. So a thorough investigation is going on right now, not only with NATO officials, U.S. officials, but also Afghan officials looking into this. We have seen some very strong words coming from President Hamid Karzai, who has called this an act of terror that is unforgivable. And there are a lot of people calling for justice, and there's a lot of worry that there is going to be some kind of violent reprisal. The Taliban is already saying that it will take revenge.
Well, Israeli and Palestinians appear to be locked in a friendly exchange, deadly exchange of attacks and counterattacks that are exacting a heavy toll. Israel blames Islamic Jihad for dozens of rocket attacks in recent days. Palestinian officials say at least 3 civilians and 2 militants were killed in Monday's strike. CNN Fionnuala Sweeney is in Jerusalem and she has the latest on the situation there.
Inside, 23 dead and many more reported injured as millions of Israelis on the other side of the border take refuge in bunkers. This is the most serious escalation since last October and is now well into its 4th day.
The moment normal life in southern Israel is rocked, literally. An Iron Dome missile is launched to intercept an incoming rocket from Gaza. The most serious escalation of violence since last October began on Friday when Israel assassinated the leader of the popular resistance committees in the Gaza Strip. The IDF said Zuhair al-Qazi had been planning a terrorist attack along the border with Egypt. While Hamas held its fire, the response from the PRC and Islamic Jihad was immediate. Over the next 48 hours, dozens of rockets not intercepted by Iron Dome missiles rained onto southern Israel. Israel responded in kind, striking targets in Gaza. In this house, 3 people not linked to violence, says this family member, were wounded. We were sleeping in the house, he says. We don't have any tools of war or anything. All of a sudden, the missile fell and destroyed the house, and these doors fell on the kids who were sleeping. The whole building is almost completely destroyed. At the funeral for a 12-year-old boy killed, say Palestinian medical officials on his way to school, vows to avenge Palestinian deaths, anger at Israel. While in southern Israel, residents hold their collective breath. The sound of a rocket being intercepted this time. Amid the collective sigh of relief, anger at the Palestinians. They will not stop firing because if they were smart, they would have stopped already, says this man. Instead, they are firing on innocent people. They want a missile to fall on a kindergarten. We have to deal with them, says this man. We want quiet. If there's no quiet here, there will not be quiet there. Residents on both sides wait to see how much of an appetite there is on the other side for a sustained barrage.
Well, there does appear to be an appetite on both sides. The Iron Dome intercept system helping Israel prolong this number of airstrikes in Gaza. But in Gaza, Islamic Jihad holding a news conference today saying that it still had the appetite to keep fighting and warning Israelis to return to their bunkers. So we're into the 4th day. It remains to be seen whether or not this will continue well into the week.
And before we go, reminder of our headlines. Cabinet met today to discuss the Gambia's response to the massive crop failure affecting the Sahel region. The Gambia Emergency Agricultural Production Project has doled out farm inputs to farmers in rural farming communities. Lone U.S. soldier has gone on a rampage and shot dead 16 Afghan civilians in cold blood. And the Israeli military and Palestinian militants are continuing their recent round of tit-for-tat attacks. You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, and that's on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. That's all in the news. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you again, inshallah, at 2200 hours with more news.